Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome into the Hoover High School Coaches Show with Chip English, the head football coach of the Hoover Bucks. And I'm Jeff Lloyd, and we're glad to have you joining us here at Beef O'Brady's. And Beef O'Brady's has been always a great host for us, and we encourage you to come out. Every Wednesday night is Wednesday Wings Night, and 99 cents a week. We'll tell you more about that as we go along. I turn now to the head coach, and it is game week, Coach, and I know you got to be excited about being able to hit another team besides your own teammates.
Yeah, we're there, if you will. So a couple more days of prep right here, or really one more day of prep, and then we're at it. Guys have had a good off season, but yeah, we're ready to see another colored jersey for sure.
We're going to talk about this season, but before we do that, and Coach and I were talking just before we went on the air, is that we really didn't have a chance to talk at the end of the season because we didn't do another coaches show, but had a great year last year, really, 10-3, went all the way to the semifinals, won a region championship. You got to be really happy about, and also Coach of the Year. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, closing out last year, it was bittersweet. You never want to lose your last one, but went to the semifinals, had a strong run, came up a little short right there at the end, but the guys played extremely hard. I was pleased with their effort. Sometimes the ball bounces the other way a little bit, and we came up a little short against a really good Central Phoenix team. Would have been nice to get back in it and possibly played, Thompson again for the state championship. It would have been a really cool deal right here in Birmingham. But overall, really excited about what we were able to do. But, now we're clicking over and our focus is on this year.
Of the three losses that you suffered last year, I think everybody went to the state championship, did they not?
Yeah, Spain Park went 13-1, lost in the semis. And then Parker won it, and then Central Phoenix ended up going. So, yeah, it was a tough run. I mean, every single week was really, really solid. We beat a lot of really good football teams, so proud of that. But yeah, and it doesn't change this year. You look at our lineup, you look at our schedule, it doesn't get any easier.
Well, that's what happens when you play in Region 3 in the state of Alabama. Well, Coach, let's talk a little bit about what's happened so far. Let's talk a little bit about the summer and the preparation. I know that you guys were in some 7-on-7s. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we had a really good summer. We didn't do a spring game. Really just didn't find that right opponent that I was looking for. With the coaches and bringing in my staff, didn't really feel comfortable playing in that spring game. We did have a spring. We had an inter-squad scrimmage. I was pleased with that. And then we had a really good summer. The guys worked really hard. We had a ton of volume over the summer, and what I mean by that is just constantly coming to work every single day, and that I think that served us well. Did have several 7-on-7s. It's really good. I'm not all about 7-on-7s, but when you're learning a new offense, you go to a 7-on-7 and you do the same play, not over and over again, but throughout the day, you might get that play 15 to 16 times where in practice you just can't get that much. So going to those, it allows you to learn that offense, if you will. But it also gets some timing with the receivers and DBs. We got a younger secondary or a newer secondary, so allowed those to a lot of route recognition and playing the ball in the air, which we were excited about. Ended up winning the national tournament again that we host like we did last year. So not that we put all of our marbles in that, but at the same time, I would rather win it than lose it. Sure. So proud of the guys. You learn how to compete. You bond. You grow closer together, and so it was good. I was pleased with the summer and rolling into fall camp.
What a difference a year makes. We are almost identical to when you took over this team a year ago.
Yeah.
That had to be an incredible experience to have that handed to you kind of last minute, and then also it wasn't really totally everything that you were able to put into effect in this year.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff last year, because I was the offensive coordinator throughout the summer, I was able to implement a lot.
Yeah.
I was able to kind of have my handprint on it. But you're right. This is the first big off season where I was able to hire my staff, bring my guys in but also, kind of formulate what that summer looks like, what that fall camp looks like. And it's been a little bit of change, not a whole lot. Football's football. But yeah, so I'm excited to kind of see the difference a little bit. We're a different team. The reality of it is our roster is completely different than what it was before. I tell people we don't have a ton of young guys that are going to get on the field. They're just inexperienced. So you look at our offensive line, for example. We have 5 new starters from last year, and they were here. They were at Hoover, but they were playing JV as juniors. Waiting their turn, if you will, to kind of step up into the spotlight. So several seniors that are starting for the first time in their career.
How do you judge the jump from JV to varsity? Is it that humongous?
Yeah, it is. It is really big. And really the big thing is the speed of the game. You get in there, if you're a running back, that hole closes up a lot faster. Those defensive ends rush a lot more. You also see a lot of different looks up front where JV's a lot of your base defense, base offense, because you're trying to develop those guys. On Friday nights, you're seeing different blitz packages, different fronts, different secondaries. The secondary is able to disguise their coverage more. So a huge difference, if you will. Every time, you come up from middle school ball to ninth grade, it's a big jump. Ninth grade to JV, it's a big jump. JV to varsity, it's a big jump. And then obviously, as you keep going up, the jump becomes larger and larger. But our guys have responded well. I thought our practices, our coaches have done a great job of kind of keeping our tempo and keeping the intensity in practice the way I want it to, and I think it's proved us well.
You doing the two-a-days, has that been part of your routine?
Yeah, we do a little bit of that. We do a little bit of that in fall camp. It's tough because, there's regulations, but there's also we start school so early. Mm-hmm. So you just can't have the old school two-a-days, if you will. And I know, obviously, the TV show and everything. Yeah. But, so what we do, we bring them in the morning a lot of the times, and we would, we would meet and lift. And then in the afternoon, we would practice, or vice versa. So we were able to kind of see these guys 2 times, which that's what you want. The two-a-days was for frequency. It was for reps. Yeah. You don't want to lose them for 24 hours and then bring them back. So, the more you hit something, right, the more you frequent it, if you will, the better you're going to get at it. And I felt like we accomplished that this year.
You talked about a lot of new guys that are going to be on the offensive line or anywhere on your team this year, and they did get some experience in JV. And you didn't have any really blowout games last year where you could rest your starters and bring your second guys in. Yeah,
I mean, two guys got significant snaps on varsity last year that are now going to start, which was Tyler Callens is going to start at right guard, and then our center, Lincoln Anderson, who got significant snaps at special teams, but then also got some snaps throughout the year. But you're right, we didn't have a ton of games one way or the other where you felt like you could really sub in a lot. So we had to roll with our starters last year, and sometimes years go like that. They got some reps against Tuscaloosa County and Oak Mountain a little bit, so they got that. But again, we try to put them in situations in practice to be able to simulate a game. And I know you'll never be able to, but you can come close, and that's what we've tried to do to make sure those guys are game ready.
We're at Beef Up Brady's, and we are here every Wednesday night. At least that's the plan at this point. And we're visiting with Coach English, the head coach, and the first game of the season is coming up this Friday night against IMG, and that's a team or a school that a lot of people know about because of kind of being a football factory, Coach.
Yeah, and listen, we went into the offseason, and we played Spain Park. We're going to play Spain Park. We're going to play Parker again, but looking for that week 0 game. And last year we flew down to Florida and was able to do some good things with that, and so it's not always easy finding opponents. And you look throughout the state, throughout the country, you see these bigger name programs. They always seem to kind of play each other. It's not necessarily because you want to play the number 4 team in the country. Sometimes now that's a factor. We enjoy that challenge, but sometimes you just got to find a game, and our guys will be ready. But it's hard to find a game. We were looking up in Tennessee and Louisiana and down in Florida. So it just kind of worked out that way. We're excited about the opportunity, and they're a good football team coming in. I think they come in tomorrow.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that game in a little bit. I would imagine that it's difficult. Also, you want to get a home game. You don't want to have to go on the road again.
Well, we almost ended up flying to Florida again. And not that I don't love giving that experience to the guys, but our sponsors, they pay a lot of money to advertise and stuff. So you want to try to give them those 5 home games. So I was really excited when IMG was able to said that they were going to come and travel to us, and that gave us our 5th home game. And so it gives our community something, too, where they can come out and feel a full season rather than just 4 home games.
Yeah.
So really excited about that, and it kind of worked out. But, yeah, you definitely want to average that.
And hopefully some more in the postseason to get to.
That's right.
You get
That's
into
right.
Home field advantage. Coach, we talked about some of the new faces. We haven't really named names too much, and we'll try to get into that a little bit. But oftentimes you have people that move in, transferred in. Are there some new faces that we are going to be seeing?
Yeah, there's a couple. The core of our team, are longtime Hoover people, but we have a couple guys that ended up moving in. And the reality of it is we play in such a metropolitan area. There's going to be some natural movement. And left tackle, Lamar King came in. He's going to be a senior. Really excited about him, 6'3", 275, guy that can move, that's really strong and kind of has an edge about him. And then Caleb Freeman came in last spring during the semester. He's going to come in and do a really good job for us. So a couple here and there, but at the same time, the core of our team is here, and that's who we are. So excited about all those guys.
Would you be revealing too much if you kind of went down the depth chart for us? And do you know who your starters? I think you know who your
we
starters are.
We do know who our starters are, yeah. Offensively, up front, Lamar King is going to start at left tackle. Braden Prince is going to start at left guard. Lincoln Anderson at center. And then Tyler Callens at right guard. And then Rocco Rousey at right tackle. So that's the new lineup, offensive line-wise. Those guys are untested, but, man, they are eager. They are hungry to learn. Our offensive coaches, Coach Darrell Williams and Brad Pounds have done a great job of really, teaching them, but also teaching them the intensity of the game. And those guys do a great job every single day. So those are the front 5. And then at quarterback, we have Caleb Freeman is going to get the start and get the nod. And it would not surprise me if we were able to kind of roll in Rockavian Goldsmith and even Hudson Babb. So give those guys an opportunity if the opportunity's available. And then, our wide receiving core with Jonah Winston, Jeremiah Tabb, Hunter Purdue, and then Anderson Clark. That rounds out those 4. And really excited that those guys have been working extremely hard. And I'm not going to go throughout the entire depth chart, but we have some guys like the Blake Clarks, the Ian Suttles. Those guys have been busting their tails all year. They're going to have an opportunity at some point to prove themselves, right? Whether it be one snap or whether it be a series. So those guys are ready. We got a lightning delay right at the end of practice. We had to go to the gym and kind of go through some stuff, but it really gave us a great opportunity to go over some stuff and really kind of perfect what we do. And then defensive front wise, you have the edges with Jovan Pulliam and going down the line, Justin Hartley, Tyson Bacon, those guys. Trey Sanders is going to get the start at Mike, Jarrett Goldsby at the will, and then in the secondary you have at DJ Walloon at safety. He's a returning starter, really a guy that picked up a lot of offers in the offseason and gonna be really good for us. And then Jordan Williams at one corner, who is also a Division I football player who's gotten a lot of offers, a junior, new starter. Anquan Allen, another one that had received some ACC, SEC offers in the offseason. He's a longer, rangier corner. Caden Smith at the other safety. So really a lot of those guys, we're raring to go. But I'll tell you, at defensive line, we have a lot of depth. Joe Johnson, another kid named Jordan Williams, a young kid named Jamon Knight, a freshman that's going to probably see some snaps. And so, those guys are ready to go. Defensively, we're really deep. I feel like in the secondary, we can roll a couple guys. Jackson Lassiter is another guy who's really came on this offseason. Has just been buying his time, working extremely hard. A guy that's like, is he gonna be able to kind of get to that point? And he really, really has. He's probably been our most improved player over the course of the all season and what he's able to provide for us. So defensively, we're deep. Offensively, I feel like we have some weapons, and so bringing that all together is going to be fun.
Who is your offensive coordinator this year? Are you still going to act in that capacity?
I was able to hire Daryl LeBeau from Pleasant Grove High School, guy that's had a ton of success over there, and had a great conversation with him during the offseason around Christmas time. And we kind of hit it off. I mean, he believes in a lot of the things that I believe in, and when it comes to offenses, that are similar, it's the same things. It's just how do you word it, right? What's the language of the offense? And so that's been an adjustment, but our guys have picked up on it great. Our coaching staff are kind of coming together and really gelling. But Coach LeBeau has done a great job of really connecting with the guys and making sure they understand what's asked of them. And so while I will be in the offensive meeting rooms and I will have my hand on it, I have full confidence that he's going to be able to kind of deliver. And he is going to call plays on Friday nights. It's going to be his deal, his terminology. And so excited to kind of see those guys rally around him and allow me to take a bigger approach on the entire team and manage the game a little bit. And, sharing those duties and allowing him to be able to call is going to be a lot of fun.
Is there a particular style that we can look for? Is it going to be a balanced attack, more run, more pass? I know you got some guys who can catch the football. I know.
Yeah, the thing about it is so we have weapons: the C.J. Calley, R.J. Mosley, Keelan Jefferson, Malik Boggin, so Paxton Weatherly. So we have a ton of people in the backfield and at the wide receiver position. So now the question becomes, how do we get them the ball? And so we have a lot of different looks, a lot of different sets and motions and shifts and run plays and RPOs. So, I don't know. We're a mixture of a lot of things. It's just really like, where's the defense not? And we want to find our guys and get them the ball. And so we move around a lot and make sure that our playmakers, get those touches.
And a lot of times the success of one helps you out with the other. If you are unable to run the football, it's more difficult to pass the football, right?
It does. So if we have the running game going, those RPOs are going to be hitting because they're going to have to commit more to the run. If the passing game's going, they're going to have to commit one more to the pass, leaving 5 in the box and allowing us to, hopefully get some lanes that we're able to do. So a lot of fun with that. And in our mind, it's we have the pin last. The defense can't be right, And if our quarterback plays well and makes the right reads, and we make the simple throws and get it into those guys' hands, I truly believe we can put some points on the board.
We're going to talk about your coaching staff, let you call out those guys. I'm going to take a little spot here to talk about before Brady's. As we talked about, Wednesdays is wing night here, 99-cent wing, but they have something special every night. You can look at Monday, it's Burger Monday, and then Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. And then on Thursday, it is Stakeout Thursday. Ribeye, steak sandwiches. They have the Philly Plus cheesesteak with fries, and then they have kids' menus as well. On Friday, it's fish and chips, and then on Saturday, it's cheeseburger and wings Saturday. So you can't go wrong, and the people that work with you here, the waitresses and the wait staff, are just outstanding. And we encourage you to come out and say hello to them and tell them you heard about it here on the Coaches Show. We really appreciate the fact that George allows us to come in and do this every week, and we hope that you'll come out and join us out here on a Wednesday night and then take advantage of the good food and the good company. All right, Coach.
Yeah.
You said you had the ability to go out and pick your own staff, and let's go over some of it. I met Coach Pounds earlier. He told me that you guys go back a ways.
Way back. We met in college, and we played ball together before he transferred to Alabama and finished his career there. But yeah, we're best friends, and we go way back. We've worked together for most of our career, so I was excited about getting him on board. But we started back in December, right when I got the full-time deal. I knew I was going to try to bring in an offensive coordinator to allow me to kind of, again, step back and see the big picture and program management type deal. So I was able to bring in Coach LeBeau, and like I said, his record speaks for itself. He's very good at what he does, connecting with the kids, making sure that the guys are prepared, and to see the product that he's going to put out on the field offensively is going to be a lot of fun. And then another big component was in the weight room with Coach Gavin Halford. He's just done a phenomenal job. I've worked with him before. He had a long career at JSU as a strength coach, and so he has some collegiate experience. And he actually went to JSU as a kicker, an All-American kicker, and so again, just bringing great men in the program, but also really good at what they do. So that was my early hires, and those were huge. And the school system, Dr. Maddox, Dr. Lamy did a great job of really working with me to try to bring in the people that I need. And then followed up with, Will Eads, Darius Arrington at wide receiver. Those two guys have really done a great job gelling and just making sure our guys are ready to go. Up front, we were able to bring in Darrell Williams, who's a former NFL guy, a guy that worked with Coach LeBeau before. So, with Coach Williams and Coach Pounds, they just bring a dynamic to the offensive line that I really, really think is good. And preparing the guys, bringing the intensity every single day is where we want to be. And then obviously Coach Jackson, and Coach Trent Richardson, they stayed on board. Coach Russ Pilkington as a tight ends coach, and so was able to kind of retain some of those guys. And then, defensively, our defense coordinator, Josh Reeves, he's been at Hoover for several years, elevated him to defense coordinator last year. And so it was a no-brainer. I've worked with him for many years. And, the way that he's able to produce top 5, 7A defenses in the state multiple times, not just at Hoover, but at Grissom, his body of work is just is really unmatched. And I know sometimes the wins don't reflect because of where we were at the schools. He's one of the best in the state, and I truly believe that. And so, I brought him in. He's the associate head coach as well. So, me and him go way back as well. And we're able to kind of sit down and, what guys can we bring in? Dustin Edgar stayed on board. Austin Harrell stayed on board. Patterson, Coach Patterson is our safeties coach. Brought in a young guy in Sam Willoughby, former Alabama player, played at Samford, finished his career at Samford. He's doing our cornerbacks, super energetic. The guys love him. He's bouncing around. He actually demonstrates what we want him to do. So that's been a big pickup. And then Leonard Davis, who is actually a defense coordinator, he's our defensive line coach. Just connects with the guys. He has a very calming voice, a very smart football player when he played, and then he instills those things into his players. And so really excited about our entire staff, our strength staff, all the way offensively and defensively. And I would be remiss to not mention our operations guy and David Crabtree. Not only does he set up nights like tonight, he does all of our travel, our food, you name it, he does it. And so, but it takes that. When you run a program with over 230 players, 24 coaches, you got to have people in different roles to be able to support the program and not only support it, but thrive and make sure that it finds success. And I really feel like we have the right people in the building right now.
Sounds like it. And can you imagine the days when you used to have the head coach be the athletic director? That seems almost
I can tell you that I couldn't do both. I know that. Hoover's a great place, but we have over 1,000 athletes in the school.
Yeah.
And so our athletic department does a great job of managing it, but I'll let them do that side of it.
And the crazy thing is that they're successful. You had the boys and the girls basketball teams both win state championships. They have won state championships at almost every sport. I think every sport has won a state championship at one time or another.
Yeah, and I'll plug Hoover. Not only academically is it one of the best, in the country, but athletically, what it provides is unmatched. And I legitimately think I saw a poll or some graph that showed us in the top 10 in the country in best overall schools. And what that means is, in the arts, academically and athletically. And so it's a really cool place to be. I'm very fortunate to be here, and I really think the best is in front of us. And so when you have the vision that Dr. Lamy and our administration does overall, it's a fun place to work.
Let's talk a little bit about the game coming up this Friday night. We will mention this game will not be on the NFHS network for those of you who would be trying to watch that, but you can watch it on ESPN. It will be a national broadcast, Coach. So there you go, front and center.
Well, when you have opportunities like this, and it took a big effort to get them on board, but when your kids can be showcased in front of a national audience, you can't beat that. Very few schools in our area, and there's been a few. With our rich tradition in this great, the greater Birmingham area, But being on national television, opening week of high school football, it don't get much better than that.
Yeah, and you don't look past any game except the one that's next on the schedule, do you?
I'm not smart enough to think about two teams at once. We just go all in on where we're at. I preach that to the kids. I'm not worried about anything else. If you're in weightlifting, I'm worried about weightlifting. If you're in meetings, I'm worried about the meeting. If you're in class, you're worried about class. Be where your feet are, and that's what we do as a coaching staff. We're not looking ahead. We feel like we have an opportunity to be successful in every single game that we play, but that's going to take our entire focus that week, and so we take that approach.
Yeah. Well, we will have our first broadcast here on the NFHS Network, not this coming Friday, but the Friday after, when the Bucks travel to Spain Park and take on the Jaguars over there, and we hope that you'll join us at that time. We have some new things in the works, and thanks to David Crabtree for that as well. And so he's got many hats, and I don't know how he's doing all the things he's got on his plate.
I don't either.
But we do appreciate it. We appreciate you for joining us here. Tell your friends that you can watch this on the NFHS Network. That is a subscriber thing. So, and that subscription helps pay for the broadcast, and it pays for things that go on in the program. So we encourage you to share this with other people, and so we can get some other subscribers as well. Coach, good luck on Friday.
Appreciate it.
We look forward to what should be a very exciting season.
Yeah, we're excited. And listen, I want to thank Beef O'Brady's. George does a great job, and I know it was long before me, but creating an environment like he does and inviting us in, and just can't thank him enough. And my family's here eating, and so make sure you come out and enjoy some great food, some great fellowship, and go Bucks.
That's going to do it for us. For Coach English, I'm Jeff Lloyd, and we'll see you at the Met this Friday night. So long, everybody.